Hello, my name is Enchantress Barrett.
Hi everyone, I'm Shadell.
Hi, my name is Teresa Mendoza.
Hello, my name is McKenna Warnick.
Hi, my name is Lauren Cockerham.
Hello, my name is Enchantress Barrett, and my group project is over prescription drugs. Prescription drugs are prescribed by doctors, they are received from a pharmacist, they are legal, they are prescribed for and intended to be used by one person, and they are regulated by the FDA through the new drug application process. Now, my focus in the project is to discuss the statistics, facts, and reasoning on college students' abuse of prescription drugs. Some statistics would be that rates of prescription drug misuse among college students has increased, with the rates being 8.3% in 1996 to the rates being 14.6% in 2006. Sadly, 28.1% of college students have reported misusing some type of prescription drug at least once in their lifetime. National College Health Assessment found in 2014 that almost two-thirds of college students or college seniors have been offered prescription drugs for non-medical use during their college careers, and that more than 30% admit to using them at least once. In 2014, NCHA also found that 9% of college students admitted to misusing a prescription drug. Now, some facts. Misuse of prescription drugs among United States college students has become a significant public health concern over the past decade due to substantial increase in its prevalence since the mid 1990s. The use of prescription drug comes in second, following behind the use of marijuana among college students. In 2009, full-time college students are twice as likely to use a stimulant for non-medical reasons compared to those who aren't in college or who are only part-time students. Studies have found taking stimulants does not boost academic performance, but instead bring along long-term health issues. So some reasons why college students may use prescription drugs is to induce sleep because they think it is cool, energize themselves to focus at parties because their friends are doing it, because of anxiety or depression, being suicidal or having suicidal thoughts, to get high, to relieve pain, as a stress reliever, and also because of academic strain. What can abusing prescription drugs lead to? And it can lead to many different health issues, but this is just some that I have named, which is increase in blood pressure or heart rate, organ damage, addiction, seizures, strokes, heart attack, difficulty breathing, and even something as sudden as death. Now, some tertiary prevention programs that I have mentioned is Addiction Center, the Texas Drug Rehab Recovery, Drug and Alcohol Treatment, Powerhouse Recovery Center, LLC, and Cover Drug Rehab Beachside Addiction Treatment. And there are many other different programs that's out there, but this is just some that I have listed. Also, you can type this into the search bar on the internet, and you can go to their website and find all kinds of information and even a contact number for anyone who's looking for help or just looking for some information. Now I have a short video just discussing the use of prescription drugs among college students and some statistics and facts as well. And our next speaker will be discussing prescription drugs in relation to academic performance among college students.
Too many college students are misusing prescription pills. That was the message today during one discussion at the National Prescription Drug Abuse and Heroin Summit in Atlanta. The summit wrapped up today, and as part of the final day's activities, folks are coming together for roundtable forums on various topics. WYMT's Tanner Hesterberg learned more about the problem of drug abuse on college campuses.
The consensus here seems to be that most colleges do an adequate job warning students about the dangers of abusing alcohol. But there needs to be more education on how abusing prescription medications like Adderall can also be deadly. Dozens of people gathered to share their experiences dealing with drug habits among teenagers and brainstorm ideas for putting an end to the problem. Jan Carnes works for a foundation focused on substance abuse prevention. She helped facilitate Thursday's discussion.
One of the most powerful things I think that we heard was the fact that it's this harm perception. Our students do not see Adderall or ADHD medications as harmful. They see them on the same level that they see caffeine.
Research from the National Institutes of Health indicates 34% of college students have at some point illegally used ADHD stimulants. And college students are nearly twice as likely as their peers who are not full-time students to use stimulants. Karen Perry lost her son Richard to an overdose and suspects his drug habit started by taking one of his friend's ADHD medications.
When you find out these things after the fact, it's heartbreaking, but it put us on a mission, and we do not want to see anybody else go through what we went through.
Perry told her story during Thursday's roundtable, hoping to inspire others to do whatever they can in their communities to combat this growing issue. Topics of other roundtables here included additional education for doctors on the dangers of prescribing some medications and overcoming barriers to recovery. At the National Prescription Drug Abuse and Heroin Summit in Atlanta, Tanner Hesterberg, WYMT Mountain News.
Thank you, Tanner. And coming up on Mountain News at 6, we'll have another report from Matthew Rand from the summit on one group's efforts to improve access to drug recovery for high school students.
As Enchantress previously stated, I would be talking about prescription drugs and academics. Now, before I get into giving you guys a few facts about prescription drugs and academics and why they misuse it, first I'm just going to start off by showing you guys a short video clip talking about the silent high, which is prescription drugs. Enjoy.
Still ahead, the prescription drug epidemic that's turning people into addicts, even criminals. It's an I-Team investigation.
Tonight's I-Team report, there may be a drug addict in your house, and you may be their supplier. Federal authorities call it an epidemic. Prescription drug abuse is causing overdoses and turning regular people into criminals.
ABC 7 investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy joining us tonight with more on this disturbing story. Chuck.
It is Kathy Ron popping painkillers, becoming addicted, and then taking extreme measures to get more pills. The silent high. Prescription drug overdoses now outnumber those of heroin and cocaine combined. The abuse by young and old is happening everywhere. Chicago, the suburbs, the rural Midwest, taxing healthcare systems and law enforcement resources and wrecking lives. David Revelis is a student at Elmhurst College. At age 14, the star wrestler began smoking marijuana and quickly moved on to prescription drugs.
6 months after my first marijuana use, I dabbled into other stuff. I don't even remember what I was doing. Whatever I could get my hands on.
Ravella says he struggled through high school in and out of 9 treatment centers. Thanksgiving 2000.
So according to the video, we've just seen for the first 1 minute and 24 seconds of the video, we've just seen that this college student has been struggling with prescription drug abuse. We also seen that if you went through the full 4 minutes of the video, it also sees that families struggle with this. So it's a really broad topic. However, ours are focused on college students. So let's get right into that. So now we're just going to talk about facts about prescription drugs in relation to academics for the college student population. First of all, this number is quite high, and when I saw it, it was quite disturbing. But a majority, 90%, and this was taken in 2004, guys, 90% of students has access to stimulants from their peers or friends on campus. And I think that's a pretty high number. 90%. That is ridiculous. And that was in 2004. So you can imagine now, maybe it's increased or maybe it's declined, but 90%. And also on here, we have 1/5 of the college students. They take prescription drugs to get high or to enhance their academic performance. Also, the drug of choice that they choose is Adderall and Ritalin. And these are mainly used for patients of ADHD or victims of ADHD. So they choose mainly Adderall and Ritalin. And also we have 1 in 4 college students illegally using prescription drugs. And here we go again. Who do they get it from? Their peers. Their peers or friends. They get it from their peers or friends. So just be mindful of what we take and what we take from our peers and who we have as our friends and the people we're influenced by, and just be mindful about what we're doing to ourselves as a whole. And also college students, they misuse prescription drugs, stimulants to get in the zone, like they say, or to pull an all-nighter. Now we all know we have those moments in college where we're like, we need to pull that all-nighter because we weren't studying as we should. But don't turn to prescription drugs to do that, because first of all, this is a serious issue. These drugs are easy to get addicted to and to be abused by individuals. So don't get in the habit of, let me pop a pill so I can pull that all-nighter so I can stay focused, get an A or get a B or get a C or just a pass. Like, let's not get in the habit of doing that, because this is serious. And as we can see, it's an issue. It's an issue right now. So let's just be mindful as college students of the things that we are doing, the things that we are putting into our body, the effect it can have on us, and not only us, but the people around us. Also, we're going to be looking at why college students misuse these prescription drugs, especially in relation to academics. So one of the main reasons why they misuse these drugs in relation to academics is to improve grades. Another one is to concentrate and maintain focus for all-nighters, which I previously mentioned, study sessions, exams, all that fun stuff. It's quite interesting that they also use it to get high, reduce stress, forget about their problems, enhance performances, which come in relation to improving grades as well. And another fun fact as of why college students abuse drugs is to ease their nervousness. And sometimes it can be socially hectic, creating friends and stuff like that. So some people use it, some students use it also to ease that nervousness. And also what I thought was most interesting, but it's something that the students, or it's already assumed, that it's mainly used in the athletic college department. So one of the main, the target population for misuse of prescription drugs is athletes, and they use it to enhance the athletic performance. So, yeah. Okay. So some strategies to reduce the abuse of prescription drugs among college students would be to, first up, provide opportunities for a safe and secure disposal of unused drugs among college campuses. It's very important that we ensure that we dispose these drugs carefully and effectively, because drug abusers, they don't care where it come from. Let's say we just it fell on the floor. Someone it's just resting at the top of the pile of the trash. If I'm a drug addict or I'm an abuser, I would like this is like heaven to me. I would just pick it up. So this is something we need to be mindful about where we're putting stuff. Another thing is to raise awareness among college students with legitimate prescriptions that their divisions is illegal and diversions is illegal and dangerous. Now it's not right for college students to be passing out their prescription to those who it's not prescribed to. That is 100% illegal. So we need to raise awareness about that and let people know, hey, are you aware that it's illegal to be giving Sandra and Mike illegal drugs? It's not prescribed to them, so they shouldn't be having it in the first place. Another way we can reduce prescription drugs misuse among the college population is to educate individuals about just prescription drugs misuse on a whole. Let them know that it's dangerous, whether it's for academic reasons, self-medication, for societal, to be more fun, spontaneous. Let them know that it's wrong and it does have health effects on your body. So next, my group member, Teresa, will be talking about the effects of prescription drugs and pregnancy.
Okay, we'll get started with the effects of prescription drugs while pregnant. So it is important to remember that anything that a pregnant woman ingests is going to affect the fetus either in a positive or a negative effect. It is also important to remember that a woman should not start or stop taking any medication that they need without first consulting with their doctor. In some cases, pregnant women must take medication to treat their health conditions. It is important to discuss with their doctor the possible risk and the benefits of the medication being considered. Moving on to the next slide, we have common prescription drugs abused while pregnant. These are opiates, usually prescribed to treat pain and sometimes used as a pre-anesthetic. We also have CNS suppressants, which is for the central nervous system, and it is prescribed to treat anxiety and sleep disorders. We also have stimulants, which are used to prescribe narcolepsy and attention deficiency hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD. Moving on to the next slide, we have popular drugs harmful for your baby. These include morphine and Demerol, which are used to relieve severe to moderate pain. This is a category C. We also have Tylenol with codeine, used for mild to moderately severe pain, also category C. We have Xanax, used to treat anxiety and panic disorders, also category C. We have Valium, labeled for use while pregnancy, used to treat anxiety disorders and alcohol withdrawal, also as a category C. We have Rytnol, used to treat anxiety deficiency hyperactive disorders, also labeled as category C. And we have oxycodone, used to relieve moderate to severe pain for an extended amount of time, labeled as category B. So now we're going to move on to the next slide, and this is going to tell you the classifications of the categories. So we're only going to go on to the categories that were labeled, which is B, C, and D. Category B, this is animal studies show no risk, but there are no control studies on pregnant women. Category C is about animal studies have shown risk to the fetus. So there are no control studies in the woman, or studies in women and animals are not available. Medications who get this classification indicate that there is insufficient data on it used during pregnancy. It could either be safe or it can be harmful to your baby. We also have category D. This is a positive evidence of potential fetal risk, but the benefits from use in pregnancy women may be acceptable despite the risk. This is where it comes in if women need to take medication in order to treat an illness or health benefits that they have. We also have problems and complications during pregnancy with prescription drugs. Some of the common problems are contractions of the uterus, which can affect the blood supply to the baby or cause preterm labor and birth. We also have interference with normal prenatal development that can lead to birth defects or the fetal dismiss. We have interference with the function of the placenta, which supplies oxygen and nutrients to the baby, causing some babies to be underdeveloped and underweight. And if you find it too difficult to stop taking any medication, seek help by calling the National Alcohol and Drug Dependency Hotline at 1-800-NCA-CALL. We also have more resources and more information by the Organization of Technology Information Specialists, also known as OTIS, or the Lactic Med. This is a database for medication women might be exposed to while breastfeeding. Or we have the CDC, activities focused on medication and pregnancy, and initiative is called Treating for Two Safety Medications Used in Pregnancy.
The rehabilitation process of prescription drugs for college students is not simple. The first thing to do is to seek help. Rehabilitation facility treatments begin with detox from the chemical substances in the body. Treatment also provides a safe place to experience withdrawal symptoms such as anxiety and agitation, overpowering cravings for the drug, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, chills and goosebumps, tremors, headaches, muscle pains, and muscle spasms. As a part of the detoxification process, patients are monitored by medical professionals and may receive prescription drugs to help them cope with the side effects of withdrawal. During detox, maintaining medical stability is the most important goal, as it is also the process of preparing the patient for the next phase of rehab. But beyond the detox, prescription drug treatment becomes a matter of retraining the individual in their lives without the addictive medications. Amelia Area and Robert DuPont conducted a study called Non-Medical Prescription Stimulants Used Among College Students and Why We Need to Do Something and What We Need to Do in the Journal of Addictive Diseases. On page 423, they wrote strategies in the way to prevent non-medical use of prescription drug stimulants. The first strategy is to dispel the popular myths regarding non-medical prescription stimulants used by disseminating research findings. Number 2 is to promote awareness of the legal risk for diversion in non-medical use of prescription stimulants. Number 3, encourage physicians to increase their vigilance regarding prescription stimulants to ensure proper and safe use and to prevent diversion. Number 4, continue research regarding the relative benefits of abuse resistance and the use of prescription stimulants. Number 5, empower patients to take a central role in the prevention of non-medical use of prescription stimulants. Number 6, develop multidisciplinary campus actions to plans to reduce non-medical prescription stimulant use. Number 7, destigmatize college students who do not divert their medications or engage in illicit drug use and encourage peers to discuss the potential negative consequences of non-medical use. And number 8, develop early intervention strategies to assess risks and prevent progression to serious substance abuse and dependence problems.
Can have a huge impact on families' lives. Family members can feel and express several feelings after finding out that a loved one is or once was abusing drugs. And they can feel, anxiety, embarrassment, fear, and even guilt. And as far as guilt, even having it in your household or like in the kitchen or the bathroom, the cabinets, and then seeing that they abuse something like that, or if it was personally prescribed to a parent or a child or something, it can have a huge impact on that person because they'll feel guilty for it. A person that abuses the drugs can have like a negative impact as far as role modeling, damage relationships, and even it can destroy the trust in certain relationships. Prescription drugs are expensive, and families end up taking on the financial stress of a loved one's addiction. They end up paying hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars to get them that high, that fix of prescription drugs. Ultimately, the family can end up in bankruptcy, losing their life savings, and even kids' college funds go to that, to get them that high or that fix. And a prescription drug addiction can greatly affect the welfare and well-being of a family, not only short-term, but long-term as well. Not only does the family take on the financial stress, they also take on emotional stress. One emotional stress that they have is that they develop different coping mechanisms. And especially in kids, they learn to develop the wrong kinds, you know, maybe acting out or learning how to suppress their emotions or feelings and not expressing them because they don't want to hurt their parent or any family member at that feelings. But there is hope. There's tips on how to help a family to recovery. And one is no negative enabling. Negative enabling is basically giving in to fulfill that need that need of needing prescription drugs. So if they throw a fit or say I have to have it, or just threatening you, basically, if you don't give them the money or you don't provide them with that fix, that something's going to happen, but you have to stay strong in your decision and say, no, I'm not going to support that any longer. Another thing is offer the opportunity of change. Some people feel like they don't get the chance to change, or that no one's around or there for them. So saying, hey, if you want to change, I'm here for you and I can provide that help. Another one is seek outside help. Seeking outside help can be speaking to someone, an interventionist, or maybe a psychologist or something, but just basically getting a support group together and knowing how to help them efficiently. Lastly, make the addict aware of the consequences. I feel that not all addicts know the full extent of what can happen because of them taking prescription drugs. Overdose is possible, and even though they may say, oh, it's not going to happen to me, yes, it can happen. You may take one pill one day and take two and then three, and it continues to build, and then they overdose. Second is incarceration. You could be walking down the street with it on you and you get caught, or a bad drug deal goes wrong. It can happen, and then that'll have a negative impact on your family because you'll be gone and away, and it just takes a bad toll on them. Lastly is addictions do kill, and if not treated, it can be deadly.